여러분, 안녕하세요. Hi everyone, it's Chansung teacher again. Welcome to another class of Korean lessons. Shall we get started? Today, we will be practicing the grammar we learned last week and also write a Mother's Day card or Parents' Day card for tomorrow. Let's review. This is the grammar structure that we learned last week. Here you can see that we learned how to say I know and also don't know how to do. We can do that by saying 줄 알다 and 줄 모르다. 줄 알다 means to know and 모르다 means do not know. So, let's try reviewing how we can conjugate our verbs to fit this grammar structure. We can see it on our common verbs pink tab on the screen. Let's go over 하다, which means to do. In order to conjugate this, you would drop 다 and see if the character before it ends with a consonant or a vowel. If it ends with a vowel, which 하다 is, then you would put 리을 on the bottom as 받침 of 하. And then continue on with 줄 알아요 or 몰라요. So if you want to say I do know how to do something, you would say 할 줄 알아요. If you do not know how to do anything, or if you don't know how to do a specific thing, you would say 할 줄 몰라요. And that goes the same for the rest of the verbs you see on the screen. Let's try reviewing our next grammar structure that we learned last week. We also learned that we can say I wish or I expect something by using 왔으면 or 없으면 좋겠다. Let's look at our example again. 공원에 갔으면 좋겠다. This means I wish I can go to the park. However, the literal translation of the sentence would be it would be nice if we or I go to the park. Now let's look at our basic grammar rules here. If your verb has a vowel ending, you would use 왔으면. If your verb has a consonant ending, you would most likely use 없으면. However, there are exceptions. And the two exceptions that I showed you, there are more, but the two I showed you is 크다, which you would use 컸으면, and 하다, which becomes 했으면. How about we work on some examples now? Let's try practicing what and how we can say what we wish and what we expect. The scenario goes like this. You have a genie, and that genie is able to grant you only one wish, but the genie only speaks in Korean. So how would you tell the genie what you want? Let's look at the example that you see on the screen. 저는 중국어를 할 줄 몰라요. 그래서 중국어를 잘 했으면 좋겠어요. I do not know how to speak Chinese at all. Therefore, or so, I wish that I could speak Chinese well. This is the example that you are going to be given, and I want you to try taking some time to write your own. What is a wish that you would want to ask a genie if you had one? Please pause this video as you write response. Let's continue practicing on our grammar structures. We are going to complete the following conversations using the expressions we learned in the last class. Let's look at number 1 together. In this question, Ka asks, 이번 방학에 꼭 하고 싶은 일이 뭐예요? What is something that you really want to do over the break? Let's talk about summer break. What would you like to do over summer break? Please write your answer using as으면 or 없으면 좋겠다 or 좋겠어요. Let's look at number 2. In this question, Ka asks, 내일 날씨가 어땠으면 좋겠어요? How would you like the weather to be tomorrow? Would you like it to be rainy, sunny? Please fill in the answer using 왔으면 and 없으면 좋겠어요. Now let's look at number 3. Here, Ka asked, 커서 뭐가 되고 싶어요? What would you like to be when you grow up? Please fill this out with your dreams and aspirations of what you would like to be when you grow up, using 왔으면, 없으면 좋겠어요. Please pause the video as you write this sentence, and I'll show you my response. For the first one, I would say 수영을 배웠으면 좋겠어요. I do not know how to swim, therefore I would like to learn how to swim. What did you write? What would you like to do over break? For number 2, I wrote 날씨가 맑았으면 좋겠어요. I wish the weather was very clear, sunny, beautiful tomorrow. How would you like the weather to be? Let's look at number 3. I left it blank because I am already an adult. But what did you write? What would you like to be when you grow up? Very good. Let's try moving on now. In this exercise, we are going to practice our other grammar structure using 줄 알다 and 모르다. In this sentence, or in these two sentences, we're going to write about if we can or cannot do. Let's look at the first one. 한국 노래 중에 부를 줄 아는 노래가 뭐예요? This means, amongst all the Korean songs you know, which one do you know how to sing? You can write it like this. In parentheses, you would write the title of the song, use 을 or 를 depending on if the last character has a consonant or vowel ending, and then end the sentence with 부를 줄 알아요. Please fill out this answer with what Korean song you know how to sing. Let's look at the next sentence. 무슨 요리를 할 줄 알아요? What dish do you know how to cook or you know how to make? Let's try writing it in this form. We write it like this. You would write the dish name and then use 을 or 를 depending on vowel or consonant ending and complete the sentence by adding 만들 줄 알아요. What do you know how to make? Do you know how to make scrambled eggs? Do you know how to make cereal, ramen, pasta, or soup? Please fill it out with a dish that you know how to make. Once you're ready, let's move on. Once you're done answering your question, in our previous practice, we are going to start working on our Mother's Day card. As you know, tomorrow is Mother's Day in the USA, but it is Parents' Day in Korea tomorrow. So, why not try writing a letter to your parents or your mom thanking them? And afterward, please share this card to your mom or your parents. If you can, please take out this paper you see on the screen. It should be in your packet, and if you do not have this packet, it is okay. You can use whatever piece of paper you have. I'll give you a little example of what you can write in your letter. You would write 엄마와 아빠에게 and then indent after putting a comma and write whatever you want. I would write 엄마, 아빠 사랑해요. 저를 많이 사랑해 주셔서 감사합니다. And I would write a little bit more detail, I guess you can say, or any other thankfulness words or encouraging words to your parents. And then you would end it with your name and then 올림. Please work on writing your letter now. Pause this video and continue this video once you're done writing your letter. So, how did you write the letter? Did you write letters of love, letters of thanksgiving, or just a cute letter to your parents? If you were able to finish writing your letter, please also try to decorate it a bit and sign it, and also write the date and give it to your parents. That is all for today. Your only homework for this week is to make sure you give that letter to your parents after you finish writing it. That is all from me today, and I hope to see you next week. Bye! 안녕!